Okay, we
Ready?
are live.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Ronnie Joe, and I am here with Team Fabulously You, and this is Tiff.
And I am representing Team Balanced and Beautiful. And together we've created the Fabulously Balanced United. So before we kick off our little coach sneak peek, we just wanted to go over some expectations and just how awesome the community is. So let's take us, for example, 2.5 years ago. We didn't even know the other person existed, but because we found joy in living healthy lifestyles and and support in the community, we both decided to take the leap of faith and the tug on our hearts and share and inspire more women. And that's why you're here listening to us.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, we didn't even know each other. We knew nothing about each other. We didn't know each other existed. And we just happened to join the same team. And as time went on and like all the trips that we get to take and so much community here, it's really just brought us together to become really close. And now we talk all day long throughout the day. We travel together even more. We like outside of Beachbody Land. So it's just really cool how this whole world brings people together on a whole different level. And it's not just about clean eating and it's not just about losing weight. There's so much more deep down inside that comes out of this that we're really excited to share with you. And whenever you join us, you'll see that almost instantly. Like the community is truly the biggest part of all of this, I think.
Completely agree.
So I am going to start off by sort of elaborating on that just a little bit and telling you guys like what is a coach. So whenever we're done here, we're going to post a few videos within the group. You kind of probably saw earlier today that I posted that big video about income, just because we had so many questions about income. So it's just easier just to come in, pop the video down, but we'll post the videos that we're going to kind of talk about just to kind of give you guys a little bit more in depth with you. But as you watch the video and all the videos to come on the journeys and the skepticism and the perspectives that we post for the rest of the evening, I just ask that you simply listen for the what ifs and let your dream just dream a little bit. There will be no hardcore pushy selling, no contract. We're just here sharing our journey, and we look and are allowing you to make a well-informed decision for yourself and really just like dig deeper. I know like if you're already a challenger, we've probably asked you before what your why is, like really expand on that and really think about what that is. Like, have you something been tugging on your heart to stay home with your kids? Like, do you hate every time you drop them off at daycare, then you go sit in an office from, I don't know, 7 to 6 is what some people say. Like they have to leave their house in the morning. They don't get home till 6. Are you missing those moments at school? Are you missing dinners with your husband because you're working late nights in a salon? Like what is happening in your personal life that you want to pull away from and really like sleep on that and think about it? Because I'm telling you, there's probably a way coaching can help you pull you out of that. So worst case scenario is you invest in your health and your fitness journey and you surround yourself with amazing people. So say you decide you don't want to coach, you're still going to have all of that forever. It doesn't go anywhere. We've had plenty of coaches come in. Maybe it's not for them. They're still our team and our tribe. We've had other people come in that are like, no way, that's not for me. And then to come to find a month later, they're like, please, I changed my mind. I want to do this. I love this community. So you just never know. So just follow your heart.
Yeah. And it changes. I was just going to add real quick too, like it can change in every season that you go through. Like you can come in and just want to focus on you. And then, it becomes more of I don't see my life being where I want it to. I want to build confidence and help other people do this. Really anything. It just goes.
Yeah, because maybe right now everything about your life is exactly the way you've always thought, and maybe you don't have kids yet, or maybe you just started a new career. Maybe maybe everything right now on paper is exactly what you want, and you don't have a second to add anything to it. But maybe you're somebody that's just been like beating your head up against the wall. You're like, what am I doing and how can I change this? And I'm telling you, just follow your heart and just listen to it, and you'll see what works for you. And maybe you'll have incredible results, and you'll see people are just naturally coming to you because your whole mindset's going to change on this fitness journey. And you're just going to find that people are going to want to be around you more, and you're just naturally going to inspire people, and you're really going to see what an impact you really could have on people. And if not, then at least you get a little bit of inspiration and you'll get to set your soul on fire. So that's perfect. Something I just kind of want you to think about is, what if this was something that you could do? What if this extra income could help dig you out of a hole? What if this surrounding people with positive, healthy, supportive could actually change your life and your dreams? What if you regained control of your own health and your fitness journey, and you started to feel like yourself again? Like, you've got to think about all the what ifs, I'm telling you. And at the time when I signed up, there was no way that I really just thought, like, there's no way, like a few extra $100, it seemed crazy. And I remember when I pulled the trigger, I immediately had buyer's remorse. I called my coach right away and was like, I don't know what I'm doing. There's no way. What if I don't make the money back? What if? And to be completely honest, you guys, she just sat me down and was like, you've prayed on this. You've thought about this. Follow your heart. You can really change some lives. And I basically went to social media, and don't let social media freak you out, because I promise we will guide you through that. But I went to social media. I posted a transformation pic. I shut my phone. I threw it in the corner, and I never came back to it later. And I think when I looked at my phone, I had 84 comments. I had never seen anything like that before. I had tons of text messages, tons of instant messages. Everybody was like, what are you doing? And I hit like our first milestone within the first 3 days of coaching, because I simply shared my story and was just completely raw and real. And I have found over time, the more I share that and the more I do that, the more lives I change. And it's just amazing. So I can't say enough great things about it. Okay, Tiff, take it away.
So I'm going to just tell you a little bit about my story. As Ronnie Jo kind of said, when we first signed up, I was a little bit like her in that I was apprehensive. I actually was added to a free group by a friend. Have no idea how I got in this group. And our coach was the one running it, and she kept reaching out like, are you enjoying the information? I was like, what information? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know how I'm in this group. I don't know. So I ignored her probably 6 times, maybe more. I'd have to scroll back now, 2.5 years. But finally, there was just this one day. It was my breaking point. It was my rock bottom, as people say. I hadn't stepped on the scale in a long time, and I did. And when I saw the number on the scale, my heart sank, and I felt just broken. I was like, closer to the 200 point than I had ever been. And my mom had preeclampsia when she had me, and it was just a very big mess. And so I've always had that worry that when I have kids, I'm going to have these same issues. And when I saw that number, it was I'm looking at that. Like, I saw her, what she had gone through as my future, and I didn't want that. And so I call it the grace of God, because literally, I think it was that afternoon or that evening, I opened my phone and she had sent me another message, and I finally replied. And from there, it was just no stopping. I just went all in with like whatever she told me I had to do. And I knew that there was no other option, because I had, up until that point, let every excuse of not having the time, not having the money, just everything. And I was letting the struggles that I was having at work get to me. And I had thought about doing something extra, but I didn't know that how was I going to fit something else onto my plate. And so it was just this colliding. And then after probably about 2 weeks, I had lost, I think, 11 pounds in like two weeks. And that's when I was like, you know what? I want to share. Like, I feel great. Like, the groups are awesome. The support is amazing. And it pushes me to, like, keep showing up, which I never would have done if I was just going to the gym on my own. And that's when I started coaching. I was just like, I just need to share this story and help more people out there who feel like they don't know what to do, kind of learn and focus some time on themselves. It's super important to do that. And I'll kind of talk a little bit more about my story. It's weaved into some of the information I have for you in a little bit about the fears and misconceptions as well.
Okay, are we going back to me?
Yes.
Okay, so before I let her get into her fears, misconceptions, I kind of want to talk about just a minute because she kind of just sparked me. Like I kind of mentioned how I immediately had buyer's remorse and I was scared. So what my like exact like sign up moment looked like, if you like, I feel like I don't talk about this very often, but I mean, it really was a very breaking point. I went to the gym every single day, and you guys, I had the 21-day fix, but I wasn't doing the 21-day fix workouts. Like I don't even like to admit that. I was using the containers because I thought that was all that I needed. I was following the meal plan, and I was getting results, but I wasn't getting results like I get now because I wasn't following the program. I didn't believe in the program. So that was where a lot of like my apprehensions came from, because I really wasn't sold on the workouts. I was sold on the nutrition plans. But what happened was I was at the gym and I got this text from my husband. Now my son was born September 2nd. And my first like official day of coaching was December 1st. So I think I signed up. I must have signed up like November 30th, because next morning I was like, can I do this? And my coach was like, yeah. And you have the whole month, so just go for it. But I got this text from my husband, and he was like going through our finances. Like every month on the 1st, he goes through all of our finances, and then he just like sends me like, okay, last month sucked, or this month we did awesome, which by the way, we have so many more awesome months now than we had back then. And it was, I used to work out super early I still do work out super in the morning, but I was at the gym early. It was before I was going into the salon. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. He was just up with the baby, and he just sent me a screenshot, and he's like, something's got to give. You have to get another job or something. You need to pick up more hours at the salon. You need to build your clientele. Like, you've got to do something, because what we're doing, it's not working. And that feeling inside of me, like I had this sudden fear and like my whole world flashed before my eyes. I'm like, holy shit. I don't even know if I can say shit on this, but who cares? I may have to go back to bartending. And I hadn't bartended in 4 or 5 years, but that was how I made it through college. And bartending Ronnie Joe is nobody that anybody wants to be around. She was not she was not happy. She was the lowest of lows in my eyes. And all that went through my eyes, or through my brain. And in that moment, without even thinking, I picked up my phone, I texted my coach, and I said, okay, so I guess all this would have happened when it had to be like the 20th or 29th, because I started coaching on the 1st. And I was like, what do I got to do to sign up? I'm doing it tonight. I want to sign up. I want to go, and I want to do this. And she was like, what in the world is happening? Okay, let's do this. So she's like, what program are we signing up for? What are you going to do? And you guys, back then, you bought a $160 program with Shakeology, and you got one program. Now you have Beachbody On Demand. You can choose from anything. So back then it was like, well, shoot, what do I want to do now? Because I already bought a program. I don't want to spend this money again, but I got to do something to become a coach. So let's figure it out. Whereas now, I mean, if you didn't like the workout you were doing, who cares? You just pick a new one. Back then you were married to it, essentially. So, I mean, that's how I got started. So I immediately texted her. She's like, let's do this. Let's sign up. I paid that $160. And then I called my husband. I was like, I got a job, but it costed me $160. And I was like, oh my God. And then I just like got off the phone and I went to work. When I got home, he's like, are we going to talk about what you're doing? And he makes me crazy. He really does. But he's always been like my number one fan. And the one thing he said, he was like, if you think it's going to work, just do it. Just prove to me it's going to work. So that's why when I said I put that post up and just did it, it was do or die. It was like, I either do this or my family, our ship is sinking. I've got to pull us out of it. Mm-hmm. And we're finally to this point where like, he just paid off his student loans. He just paid off his car. We had a really great month last month. We paid off another big credit card. Like we've really pulled ourselves out like a lot quicker recently than we had. And I don't really talk about that a lot because it makes me feel really uneasy because not everybody is going to see huge. I guess I'll just kind of reel into money real quick and then we can go back to misconceptions, but not everybody's going to see these like really fast financial gains. So we don't want people to come in here and think this is a get rich fast thing, because it's not. Because if anything is going to promise you money day one and a lot of money day one, you need to be skeptical about that. But you can make money, insert like Beachbody's, whatever, but you can make money, but you have to be willing to work. So we are looking for those people who want to work. Now, we're not saying you have to give up your life. That's not what we're saying. We will teach you how to do this in pockets of time. We will teach you how to be successful and how to do it while being a mom, while being a business owner. Tiff and I both own businesses outside of Beachbody. She is an eye doctor and I am a cosmetologist, and we have our own businesses outside of this. So we have our own things going on, but we have found time, and we're both married. She's planning on a family. I have a family, and we are creating these lives that we want. And we have this sense of freedom. So we've put in a lot of work, but we haven't given up our lives. I mean, we still find time to go out on Friday nights and Saturday nights and, you know, do our everyday thing. But we also just know, like, okay, it's 7:00 and we told these people we were going to tell them about our business. Let's sit down and get on a call and tell them about it. So that's what's amazing. You pick your time. You guys, sorry, I'm rambling, but let me just say just real quick, like just like a glimpse into what my day was like, because I feel like there's probably a lot of people in here that can relate to this lifestyle, and Tiff can share how hurt it is for her too. But it was like, honestly, we both wake up at 4:45, or we try to. We text each other. We're like, let's get up and let's work the business for just like an hour. And then we make sure we get our workouts in. We make sure we just work the business a little bit. I got a shower. I got ready. I got my daughter ready for for first grade, took her to school, took my son to preschool. I went to the salon. I did a client. I left there. I picked up my son from preschool. I took him to get his favorite sandwich. And then we went to visit Addie for lunch. We went home, built a fort all afternoon. We picked up Addie from school. We took her to cheerleading. I went back to the salon, and now here I am. And the whole day I was thinking, like, wow, like I actually created the life that would have been a dream to me when I was younger. Like at some point in the past 3.5 years, I was able to completely shift everything, and I am in complete control of the way I live my day to day. And again, it wasn't glitz and glamour from day one. I mean, it took work, but I got here, and now it's like, now I spent all that time with my son. He's in bed now, so he doesn't even know that I even left to go to work a second time. So anyways, you guys saw the video I posted earlier about how you make money, and I'm a facts and figures kind of girl. And when it comes down to it, this business is for those who decide to pursue it as such. It's simplified breakdown, and some of the ways we earn as a coach was in that video. So if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to post them or come to us or reach out to us or whatever you want to do. We're open books and we'll tell you anything. All right. Now you can go back to your fears and misconceptions. Yeah. I really went on a tangent.
No, that was perfect. It just shows like just the passion that we all have, and you're in a completely different place in your business than I am, even though we're pushing for similar goals. You're already in that freedom, which is where I am trying to create. And like you said, the income disclaimer, I'm not at the point where I'm replacing my full-time 6-figure income. I'm not there. But what I am at is making sure that every week with my coach paycheck, I'm putting gas in both vehicles. That's huge. I'm buying my groceries every week with my coaching paycheck, which is huge. And so last month when my student loan it basically quadrupled on me. For a minute, I was like, what the heck am I going to do? And then I sat down and was like, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be able to do it because I have this extra source of income that's paying for those other little things. But those little things add up every month. And that's that $800 that I needed or $600 that I needed to make my student loan payment without having to worry. So it's just those things. But I'll get off that tangent and kind of talk about the fears because it will kind of mingle together. So the big one is, of course, network marketing, pyramid scheme, that kind of thing. But I will say, like, from kind of researching, a little bit of each thing, pyramid schemes, that's not really there's not really a customer thing. You just make money from signing up people underneath you. And then there's some other differentiations of that where you sign up for this really big package up front and you don't really make money off of your people after that. But then there's ways how like our business model works, and you get the exact same commission whether someone signs up as a coach or a customer. The customer in the long run can actually make more money in this business. But if you have a coach that signs up and they build a business as well, that's when you see that residual income come after. But the initial sign up, we make the same on a package regardless of, which is kind of different. So we are invested in you as our coaches because if we help you grow your business, then we earn a little bit more of an income. Versus some of those other ways of doing it, when we just sign you up underneath us, we already make that commission off of you, and then it's like, see you later, build a business on your own. So that's one of the things about our business model that's just a lot different than some. The big one is not having the money to sign up. So I will say, when I signed up, I pretty much maxed out my credit card, and I actually waited like 2 days to make sure that I could afford it. Disclaimer, income disclaimer, that credit card is now paid off. That was the goal. But I don't recommend doing that if you don't have to. Will it change your life if you do and go all in? Yes. But even if it takes you a couple weeks to save that $160 for a challenge pack, if you take it and run with it, it's going to be so much more than that. And really, it was for me, the way I needed to make an extra income to stop working 7 days a week, to build the confidence to leave a very bad situation and pursue the dream of being independent and working for myself. But I get like the not having the money thing. So if that's you, we understand. And if you really go in, it can be that extra bit that you have to pay for the gas and the groceries and the fun, and the manis and the petties and everything that you need to take care of yourself. Time, I know that one's a big one. Ronnie Jo touched on that a little bit. But I will say that usually the busiest people are the ones that get shit done.
It's so true. It's so true.
You know how to prioritize, and if it's important to you, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, like Ronnie Jo knew that in that moment it was what she needed to do for her family, and it became a priority. And so then when you have that priority and you tell, like for me, I don't have kids yet, so it's a little bit easier. But for me, you have to also tell your family or show your family why it's a priority too. Like when you're on your phone, I'm working. Like, and you have to say that. Like, I'm not ignoring you in this conversation. Or if we're just sitting down and watching TV, I'm probably not paying attention to TV because it's the same rerun of Big Bang Theory that I've seen 103 times. So I'm gonna like be messaging people. And when he says like, "What are you doing?" Well, I'm working. Well, what are you working? Oh, well, I'm inviting to blah, blah, blah that starts next week and people had liked on my post. Just explaining, they don't have to get everything, but just explaining what you're doing is super helpful too. And also for me, I will say the other thing was last year we took an anniversary trip and everything that we paid for while we were down there was from my Beachbody business. So that was just something where the time part, you can kind of work here and there in niches and in small pockets, and we can show you how we did that initially and still do on some days. But also just getting your family on board with why you're doing it, and showing them like what can be possible. Also, like, I don't have kids, but my nieces and nephews, they know when they come over now that Aunt Tiffany works out in the morning. So they come over and they're like, can we work out with you tomorrow? Wake me up. The kids will watch you. So like, if you have children and you're thinking, I'm not gonna be able to like work out, I'm not gonna be able to do this business, they're following you. You're leading them by example. And you want them, when they go into school and when they face difficulties, you want them to go, okay, like, think back, like, what did mommy do? Like, mommy keeps going. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. They're going to show you just how strong they are, and that's basically a reflection of you. So that's just something to think about moving forward, and thinking that you don't have enough time. Some people, this one's a big one I hear from my coaches too, like, they're not at their goal or they're not fit enough. And this is where I struggled too before I signed up, because I thought I had to love exercise. I thought I had to be fit before I could coach. But I was wrong. People want someone they can relate to, and who reminds them of where they used to be or where they're at in their lives. So for me, like I said, it was like my getting healthy pre-partum, and sharing about how I wanted to be in the best shape of my life before I had a baby. And now I've had, oh gosh, in the past year, 4 or 5 challengers that have had babies and have gotten healthy before that. And now they're in their postpartum journey again. But it's so cool that that's how we connected. They're like, I want to have a baby, but I want to be in good shape before I do it. Or how, you, Ronnie Joe, like, your struggle, you liked working out, but your struggle was with your postpartum and your mental shift and all of those things that happen. Like, it doesn't have to be just about having a 6-pack abs and
right, for sure.
It's not about that at all. Like, this community is so much more than that.
Yes.
And that's why
it's like not even about that at all, which is hard to understand, but it's not even at all.
It's like such a small piece of the puzzle. Just the physical transformation, the struggles, and that always like making yourself work for more, and making yourself realize that when you look back at when you were 12 and when I was 5, I wanted to be a ballerina. I'm not going to do that. But when you think about those things that you wanted to do when you were younger and making them come true, like, it really can. Let's see. The other one is like fear of judgment. That's a big one too. But if it's something you're passionate about, who cares? I mean, it takes a long time to get there. But if you put on social media that you were going to climb a mountain or something like that, people will be like, that's great. And then you say you're going to get healthy, and people are kind of like, well, like, it's just, I'm going through this right now. It's super important. Like, we're not health nuts, like, for the most part. We find balance. And it's not that I never eat cake. I never eat ice cream. If someone told me I couldn't eat ice cream, I'd probably punch them in the face. But
right. We have a birthday party every weekend, right, at my house.
And there's always a reason to have cake and ice cream.
Yes.
But it's the fact that you're trying to be better most of the time. And coming from the health care world, I was the worst at this until 2.5 years ago. I was awful. But it's so important. So Ronnie Joe knows, like, my grandpap was recently diagnosed with cancer. And the biggest thing that they told him to help was to cut out white processed sugar. Like, that is coming from, so just from the health side of it, like, you can do things to help prevent, like, not give them up completely, but to help prevent yourself from going down that path. And so now for me, it's even more important to be healthy. So with the judgment thing, you have to build up that tolerance, I guess. But people who really aren't going to judge you are going to be the ones that actually share in your struggle and relate to you. And you just have to find those people and let the other ones kind of come and go.
Yeah. And you guys, I talked about this the other day, but like, when you really sit down and think about life, like, think about when you graduated college, you're in debt. Everybody claps for you and they're like, yay, you're $50,000 in debt. Let's have a party.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you have no job, you have no money, you have no brain cells probably at that point. I mean, you're pretty much like starting, like, you're like, you have nothing. You get married, you spend however much your fiance spends on your ring, and then you have a $50,000 wedding. Now you're $100,000 in debt. Everybody claps for you. Everybody throws you a party. Everybody's so excited for you. And then you have kids, and suddenly, like, you're dishing out money like crazy. Everybody's clapping for you. But the second you're like, guys, I did something really, really great for myself, and I'm doing something amazing, and I'm actually making money doing it, people tend to be like, ooh, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do something good for yourself? You've been doing all the, I mean, not that getting married and having kids isn't a good thing. Like, don't think that's what I'm saying. But like, so many times we celebrate putting ourselves in debt, and no one, like, you're not allowed to celebrate, like, pulling yourself out of that. And that's a lot of the reason why a lot of people gravitate away from this, because people are afraid to do something that may better them because it may make somebody else feel comfortable or uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But the number one thing you have to think about when you come into this is stop worrying about making other people uncomfortable, because if they're uncomfortable because you're comfortable, then they're the ones with the problem. It's not you. So it took me a lot of therapy and 4 years to get there. Yeah. And be like, F you, everybody that is not nice to me. But yeah, we'll help you. We'll help you get to that mindset. Yeah. And honestly, it's the most liberating thing ever when you stop caring about what people think about you and you start living for you and you start being you and just being authentically you. And you guys, the most rewarding thing ever is I have watched Addie this past year from kindergarten to first grade own her weird. She is the weirdest human ever. And she gets weirder by the day. But every time she does something weird, I like clap for it. I celebrate. I'm like, yes, Addie, do that. I don't care if you can't sing your heart out. Yeah, maybe you're falling down every time you do a cartwheel, but do it, because I want her to do all the things that make her feel really uncomfortable and celebrate her for doing them, because then she wants to do more uncomfortable things. So I just feel like if everybody celebrated being uncomfortable and doing things that maybe it's not the norm, then we would all be more open to it. So that's the most, like, the best thing I can say about coaching is it has taught us both how to be so much more liberated in that sense.
That post was like what I was thinking in my head when I was reading that comment.
Yes.
But thinking too is, you have a small network, or you're introverted, you're quiet. But social media makes it possible to kind of get over that introvertedness, because no one has time to like meet one-on-one. You get to do this from, your computer or your phone in your pajamas, which makes you more comfortable and authentic and sharing why it's so important to you. Also, as we know, like, social media sometimes can just be so negative. And I don't know how many times I've heard people tell me, like, they love my post because it's something positive in their day. It's just a positive note that there is good still in the world, and people need to realize that. So the more that we can make that impact, the better. And also, like, is the fear, you talked about this earlier, like, is your fear of not doing something worth holding back on your dreams? So are you going to let the fear of, what if I fail? What if I talk to this person and they say no, hold you back from knowing what could potentially be out there for you? And how, like you said, it was that one thing where you said, you saw your life that you were going to go back to bartending, and you just did not want that. Like, that fear was greater in you than it was the fear that was, I might have to talk to this person. You just have to get to that point. And that's why really like understanding your why is so, so important, and just figuring that out as you go along and as it changes. And that kind of leads into the last one, the fear of failing or it being too complicated. But really, there's no right or wrong way to do this thing. You just have to be willing to learn and to really kind of go all in on the products. Like, I will be the first to admit, personal development was not something in the beginning that I was like doing every day. And I got a new phone and haven't been able to download my personal development. I've missed it for 2 days and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I need it back in my life.
Yeah.
So it's like things that you don't think of, but it really truly does, like getting your mindset and your mind shift in the right place. And just having that natural belief in what you promote. Like I truly 100% will never probably ever go a day without Shakeology again. Because for me, it was that point between week like 3.5 and 4 when I ran out that I noticed my migraines came back and I hadn't had them. So for me, it's like something that I can just share. Like for me, it's what's worked. I was missing something nutritionally that was causing my migraine pain every single day of my life. And when I don't have my shake first thing in the morning, I feel that pain come back. So it's just something that I believe truly has helped me. So when you establish that belief in the community, in the workouts, in the nutrition programs, it's not salesy. It's just you sharing what you love. That would be like me telling you from an eyeglass world to get non-glare on your glasses because I truly see a difference in using it. Like I'm just giving you my honest opinion. So it's
that's exactly why I took mine out because it was a stupid glare.
Yeah, it's not salesy when you just have a belief, and people will realize that, like in your voice and in how you speak. And every job has a training period too. So that's something else to like think about. When you sign up, you're gonna be like, I don't know what the heck a why is, or how to post about why I love this product. That's why it's learn as you go, and you have time.
Yeah, nobody's an expert day one at any career. I mean, everybody has to go in and like know nothing. Right. And you don't know how to navigate through your computer system at your new job. You don't know where like the lunchroom is. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things you don't know. So like when people are first like, check your back office, check this, check that. And you're like, my head's spinning. What does that mean? It's normal. It's just like any other job. But that's where we come in as your coaches and your mentors to help you get to that point.
Exactly. Day one, I could not even work the auto machines in an office. So like, you couldn't do hair the way you do now. Day one. Cool. You have to just get through that learning curve and that training. And when you stumble, it is that place where you can grow from. And it's what gets you like, and the best thing about coaching and all of these fears is that they just apply to every aspect of your life. It's so crazy that we have already talked about it. That's like the best thing is that when you change your mind, you become better at waking up early. You become better at, showing up to your clients at work and just being fully invested in them. And it just, when you focus on you, it spills out literally everywhere. And so I know like there's all these things going on in your head and you're probably like, I have no idea that I can do this. They seem so passionate. They seem so positive, whatever. I remember being on like the first call and I was like, I still don't know what the heck I'm doing. But it comes with time and it comes with just being consistent and showing up for yourself first and foremost. So I will let Ronnie Jo kind of take it over, but if you guys have any questions, anything, just ask us. We will be more than happy to help you.
Yeah, guys. I mean, I feel like that's all we got. I mean, I posted that video of finances earlier. We'll post the rest of these videos, but we are excited for you to join us. We're excited to get you started. Any questions at all? I know your head's spinning, like let all that digest. And we're here for you. We're excited to work with you. And we, like we said, we paired up together, and there may be people that, like where our community is amazing. There are going to be people who are going to sign up with Tiff, and maybe they'll relate more with me and vice versa. And that's totally fine. Like, we are a team, so you can come to either one of us at any time with any questions, and we are here to help you.
Yeah.
So have a great rest of your night, and we're here to answer any questions.
Talk to you soon.